Good morning, and thank you for joining me for this midweek reflection from Holy Saviour Church in Hitchin. As I record this, not that many hours ago, I was watching the inauguration ceremony of President Trump. And whilst I'm not going to pass judgment on him or on the things that he has said, you can all make your own minds up about that. These big ceremonial occasions can be quite interesting. It's interesting the sort of theatrics of these moments, the body language of the people who are present. It's also interesting to see who's there. Who are the people who have been invited? And correspondingly, who are the people who've not been invited? Who are the people who are left off the invitation list? Those three giants of the American tech world, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, were all quite prominent and looked quite pleased to be part of it. From a British perspective, the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson was there and was also in a reasonably prominent location. I'm told that Nigel Farage was also present, although I think he was a bit further away from the action. But I understand that there was absolutely nobody, not one single person, from the current UK Labour government, although I'm sure there would have been some formal diplomatic representation from someone at the British Embassy. All of us, at some time or another, have had the experience of being passed over, expecting that we'd receive an invitation, perhaps, I don't know, to a friend's big wedding or to some big party or some formal event, and the invitation just didn't come. That can be very painful. We can feel as if our work just isn't being recognised, that we're being treated as if we don't really count. But there's something even worse that can happen to us than being ignored, is that we can be forgotten about. That really is painful. To be treated not just of little account, but of absolutely no account, as if we just don't exist. We all long to be remembered. As a parish priest, I find myself spending a fair amount of time with people who are often quite near the end of life. And one of the things that people often fear, even more than dying, is the possibility that they will simply be forgotten by those who come after them. Because to be forgotten is to be treated as if you're of no significance whatsoever, as if you just don't matter to anyone, as if you never existed. Jesus Christ, too, wanted to be remembered. We know that the night before he died, he sat at a table with his friends and he took bread and said, "This is my body given for you." And then he took a cup that was filled with wine and he said, "This is the cup of my blood. Do this in memory of me." Now, of course, in Jesus' case, he wasn't just thinking of his own need to be remembered. He was thinking very much about his disciples, about how they too needed to remember him. And in his love for them, he instituted this special way of remembering him, namely the Holy Communion, or the Eucharist. And every time, all over the world, we celebrate the Eucharist in Christian churches, we recall the wonderful things that Jesus said and did. We reflect on them. We try to apply them to our lives. But the Eucharist is more wonderful still, because when we remember Jesus in this way, he becomes present to us, not just physically present, but in some sense, really present. So memory is a precious faculty. Memory connects us with people. Memory connects us with events that are no longer present to us. And if we cherish the memory of loved ones, they do somehow become present to us. They're not just a memory, but they are a real presence, a presence that we feel rather than see. By remembering those we love, we continue to reap a harvest from what they sowed whilst they were still among us. Our hymn for today: Dear Lord and Father of mankind, forgive our foolish ways. And may God's peace go with you.